Pollution levels have remained at record highs in Singapore due to smog caused by Indonesia's forest fires. The city-state has been shrouded in haze for days, forcing residents to wear face masks. On Friday, the Pollutant Standards Index, or PSI, reached the highest level in Singapore's history. Over in Indonesia, a dispute over who is to blame is intensifying. Nili Dutt reports from Sumatra.
Firefighters come face to face with walls of flames. Their efforts to douse this blaze are being hampered by Mother Nature and local authorities, who they say failed to prevent this annual destruction.
Sibuk apabila telah terjadi kebakaran.
We always act after the fact. We wait until we can see the fire and we're blanketed by haze. Before any fires start during the dry season, we should be patrolling these areas and taking preventative measures.
This is what happens when slash-and-burn land clearing goes wrong. Locals tell us this was an accident. An expensive palm oil plantation and acacia trees went up in flames when a fire lit by workers clearing new land raced through this area. But scenes like this don't deter farmers like Samsir. He's been farming rubber here since the 1980s. When Samsir started, he cleared this area by burning it.
If we clear our land using heavy equipment, it costs us too much. It's much easier for us to set fire to it and clear it quickly. Fire actually makes the land more fertile.
Wali, a Sumatra-based environmental group, says local farmers aren't the problem. It blames big plantation companies for most of the island's forest fires.
Local people use traditional techniques to clear land which prevents fires from spreading, but big companies tear everything down and set it alight.
1 week ago, this plantation was lush and green. It's been lost, locals say, to irresponsible land clearing. And as global demand for palm oil products, among other things, grows, so too will the need for more land, making forest fires a seemingly permanent fixture in Sumatra's calendar. Nili Dutt, AlJazeera, Pekanbaru, Sumatra.
We're joined now by Faizal Parish. He's the director of the Global Environment Centre in Kuala Lumpur. Thank you for being with us. Just talk us through then, first of all, the environmental impact that all of this is happening, not only, of course, in Indonesia, but throughout the region.
What we're seeing is large-scale fires. They're burning in forest areas, plantation areas, but the main cause of the large amount of smoke is the burning of peat soil, which is in the forest and plantation areas. And when this peat or organic soil burns, it produces large amounts of smoke. And then the prevailing wind at the moment is towards the east, and then the smoke blows from Sumatra towards Singapore and Malaysia. This is a very serious environmental impact, as well as giving health and other problems.
Yeah, and let's talk a little bit more about those health problems. What's the potential impact on human health there? And we're just showing those pictures of the enormous haze in Singapore and the difficult situation that people there are having to go through. What sort of impact can this have on people's health there?
The current concentration of the smoke and smoke particles is very high, particularly in Singapore and southern Malaysia. And this is going to lead to asthmatic or respiratory bronchial problems, so health problems. And then also may be longer-lasting impacts from the constituents of the smoke itself.
So what then can be done, or what is being done to stop this? I mean, is anyone in a situation to combat this problem?
I mean, the main issue is what is needed before the dry season is adequate prevention measures. And because these areas, peatland areas, are naturally wet, but when they're opened up for agriculture, then they are drained. And we need to maintain the water level at or near the surface in these areas, particularly as going into the dry season. But what has happened here, there's adequate measures before the dry season starts, combined with deliberate burning of some areas, and then the fire spread into existing plantation and remaining forest. So what needs to be done in terms of control is very difficult. Very large amounts of resources are needed basically bring the water level up and flood the area, but very difficult in the dry period. And then for those areas not yet burned, to take urgent action to prevent the spread of fire into those areas by raising the water table. There's also cooperation under the framework of the ASEAN, Association of Southeast Asian Nations, to bring support from Malaysia and Singapore, as well as elsewhere, to support the efforts.
All right, thanks very much for your analysis. Faizal Parish there from the Global Environment Center in Kuala Lumpur.